Okay, so this is part 2 of my gear video. This one's all about my line and my lures. Hopefully this gives you guys an idea of maybe something you want to try, or maybe something you hadn't thought about trying before. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Line. I use 2 types of line. I use braided and fluorocarbon. I use 30-pound test braid on my bait caster because I like how smoothly it comes off my reel. It floats in the water and it comes in a variety of colors to fit your area best or the way you fish best. I personally prefer Power Pro and Spiderwire. They were some of the first couple braided brands that really came out and were really popular. One thing to remember though, for you younger guys who don't know a whole lot about fishing, or maybe you're just starting to get into fishing and you want to mess around with bait casters and spinning reels and all these other things that we're talking about tonight. Braided line on a bait caster, you never want to go less than 30-pound test, just because the diameter is so thin that when you cast out, eventually it's going to get embedded in as that line pulls on the spool, and then it's going to stick, and then it's going to spin around and backlash inside your spool and then your bait caster, and then you're going to spend a lot of time getting it out. So just remember, 30-pound test is really the lowest you want to go. Fluorocarbon, it's a new add-on to my gear this year. I've wanted to try it for years. I just couldn't bring myself to try it until recently. I've only ever tried P-line, so I can't give you like a broad range of review. So far, I've enjoyed it. I use it on my spinner reel, and it comes out very smoothly. I think the first time I casted with a buzz bait, I casted the farthest I've ever cast on a spinner reel, just because when I sent it, it just kind of kept going. And fluorocarbon comes off the lines, or comes off your spool smoother, and it goes through your guides better. I don't know what it is. I know it has something to do with the fluorocarbon itself, but it just goes through everything smoother, and it allows your line to travel with less friction. All right, now we're getting into a lot of the stuff that people want to talk about. Tackle. Now, first things first, you always have to remember that a lot of the tackle out there is designed to catch the fisherman, not the fish. There's a new thing out that everyone's talking up, fishermen gotta buy it. So just keep that in mind. Now, that being said, you go straight into crankbaits. My favorite crankbaits are a lipless crankbait, such as the Strike King Red Eye Shad with a rattle. I like it in the orange because in the winter, it really draws the attention of the bass because that's what color craws are. It rattles really well, which really also kind of draws their attention. I've heard that if you switch these hooks out to a red hook, like the Mustad hooks, you'll attract more fish. Haven't tested that theory out yet. Another benefit to the lipless crankbaits are that they have a really tight wiggle, so when most baits are going to be wiggling like this, this is wiggling like this, which is more realistic of a fish that is real lethargic. They're moving a little bit, they're not moving a whole lot, which makes it seem more realistic. Next, we're going to talk about the Rapala Shad Rap. They're one of the originators when it comes to lipped crankbaits. You've got the Shad Rap with a nice tongue. You've got, what is this? This is the Scatter Wrap. It gives you a real nice action to left and right. I mean, I want to say in the water, it looks like this. The Scatter Wrap and the Shad Wrap are really more for your summertime when they're more active and they're really wanting to just get out there, hunt, and just go after fish. Soft plastic baits. You've got a huge variety. You've got a million different brands. You've got Zoom. You've got Strike King. You've got Guggen Squad now. You've got Grande Bass, Berkeley, and Berkeley's got 2 or 3 different style brand names under that. You've got Havoc. You've got, I mean, there's just so many, too many to remember. The Berkeley Powerweight Power Worm, actually in what I call a firetail. It calls the pattern blue fleck firetail. I just call it my firetail. I actually caught my personal best crappie on this. I'll actually put up a picture of that here. Anyways, like I said, you've got a million different brands. I've got Guggen Kraken Craws, Guggen Bandito Bugs, Guggen Rattling Neds. You've got the Zoom Lizard and Red Shad. You've got, right now, this is actually one I wanted to try out, the Berkeley Power Bait Grass Pig. It's a swim bait, Grande Bass. Now this one is actually pretty cool. It's the only one I've seen like this. One of my gear is wet. It rained the other day and I left my tackle box open while I was fishing. This one's, I don't know if this one feels like it's got a scent, but it does. It smells like straight plastic. This right here is called the Grande Bass Airtail. And you can't really see it on the camera. That little tail right there, it's filled with air. And so when you get that down in the water, obviously that's gonna pull up on your deal. So it's gonna sit there and it's gonna make it look like a fish that's feeding, because it's gonna be shaping like that. Topwater baits. Let me see what I've got here. I do have, this right here is a Hedden or Hedon torpedo. It's got a little, actually just straighten, if I can straighten that out a little bit. It's got a little prop on the back. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it's got a prop right there. Oh wow, looks like this got bent last time I caught a fish on it. Bend that back. I need to replace this hook. Yeah, I think I'm about to replace that hook. I can't tell you how many fish I have caught on topwater with this. I mean, I'm talking literally first cast, it bounces off a rock, falls in, and bam, they just hit it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the coloring, if I've got the coloring just right. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the baby torpedo. But no joke, I mean, I've caught an unreal amount of fish on this specific lure. I absolutely love it. It's my go-to topwater. If I see the topwater bite is going when I roll up somewhere, this is what I tie on. Spinner baits. There's about a million of them out there. Here's the zinger. I currently have it set up with a Kraken Crawl on the back. That Kraken Crawl is in Blue Baby. See if you can kind of see it. This was actually the setup I used on the video when we were at Swepco. Haven't used this since then, but it's really been, I haven't caught anything with it, but I'm really interested to see how this performs in the summer on brighter days when the light can really just reflect off of this and just drive the fish crazy. So I just spent like 5 minutes looking for either of my jigs, and I realized one's out in my garage. I forgot to pick it up and put it in my tackle box the last time I went fishing. Yeah, I didn't put it in here either. But forgot to put it back in my tackle box the last time I went fishing. And the other one, my Guggen jig, is on my reel. It's on my rod right now. Both jigs are great. I've got the Guggen is the juicy jig. Haven't caught anything with it, but I know if I give it time, I'm going to, because jigs are phenomenal. Jigs were designed to go to the bottom and just drive fish nuts. So with the juicy jig, I know it's gonna work. I just gotta give it time. The Strike King, I've caught a couple of fish on it. It's something I picked up this year because I was actually out of jigs. I hadn't used a jig in probably 2-3 years. And I wanted to pick it back up again, so I picked up that and caught a couple fish on it, and then the bite just died. And that's when I decided to start YouTube. So here we are. And last but not least, rounding out the final piece of my tackle, and some of the newest, is the chatterbait. It's a great bait. It makes a lot of noise in the water, so when the fish hear it, it's just driving them crazy. As it's bouncing around, clacking around there in the water, when it bounces off stuff, it acts like a fish. It pauses for a second, then takes off again. Absolutely drives fish nuts. You can catch fish on them all day long. I've got it in a black and blue for when I'm in darker water, and for when I'm in a little bit clear. Like I said earlier, I don't have a whole lot of clear water. When I'm in more clear water, I throw more of a bluegill pattern. As you can see there, it looks like a bluegill. So yeah, chatterbaits, they're great. I personally have never had an issue with them, and I think they perform very well for how new of a bait they are. Okay, so that was all my gear. If you watched part 1 and part 2, you now know all the gear that I currently use. I hope this shed some light and maybe gave some of you younger guys or new guys some ideas or some things to try out. And like I said before, I will link as much info as I can down below about the gear that is mentioned in this video, as well as our Facebook and Instagram pages. If you have any questions or comments about the gear that I use, leave those down in the comments section, or maybe you just want to share an idea with some bait that you use, put that down in the comment section as well. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can get notified when we put more videos out. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Those will be linked down in the description. And as always, get up, get out, and go fishing.